Ghana 2017. Once I stepped off the plane, it was just amazing.
This marks the 4th year Mt.Gilead missionaries have stepped foot in Ghana to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ with Shalom Outreach. The West African nation is home to 27 million people. During the trip, our team traveled across the country, spending time in the capital city of Accra and in another large city called Kumasi.
When we got there, we separated into 2 teams. The first team stayed in Accra, and the rest of the team went on to Kumasi. So 4 ladies stayed back in Accra and did a business training for some young people at a vocational school.
It was over 180 students, and one of the things they wanted to do was start a business. Everyone was excited about starting a business. However, they really didn't understand what it entails to start a business, and so I was able to share with them about networking, what it takes to network, about mentoring.
Sister LaFanya Page also shared her natural gift as a hairstylist. All of the ladies brought their personal experience and an encouraging word to the students. Meanwhile, Bishop Daniel Robertson Jr. and Pastor Julian Dangerfield met with pastors in Accra at the End Time Revival Center. These faith leaders rolled out the red carpet for our mighty men of God, showing them first-class hospitality. And Bishop preached with power. The people at this service received healing and deliverance. While God continued to move in Accra, He was also doing a mighty work through the missionaries in Kumasi.
And when we got to Kumasi, the first night we separated into 5 groups, and each group went to a different church to minister at those churches. And then the next night we did the same thing. We had 5 more groups, and we went to 5 different churches.
And each night the glory of God showed up and showed out. As missionaries prayed for people one by one, they received salvation, healing, deliverance, and the baptism of the Holy Spirit.
We also were able to go to a women's conference. Each woman was able to share something with the women at their conference. At the same time, the men went to a hospital and were able to lay hands on the sick and pray for different people at the hospital.
And this was not the particular hospital that the church had donated money to, but this was a different hospital. It seemed like it was like a dark cloud was there.
People, they just looked like they had been there for a very, very long time. We started moving from bed to bed, and originally we came in like a force, and then we just spread out.
As we got to pray with each person and pray with the staff and just pray over that entire hospital, it seemed as if by the time we left, that cloud had lifted, and it seemed like everybody's spirits were lifted, and they seemed like they had a sense of hope since they, once we interacted with them. So that was a powerful interaction. We weren't there long, but we were long enough to make an impact that I think they'll remember.
Our mission team did visit the hospital in Mampong, where Mt.Gilead and Shalom paid for renovations to the maternity ward. This was a first-hand look at the improvements made since last year.
It was a blessing to go to see where our money as a church had gone to, and to see this AC system that was purchased, and to see the impact it was having on that maternity ward. As we walked in, you could tell that the building is really, really old. A lot of the areas are kind of run down, and then you start getting into this wing, this one wing as you walk through, and things are changing. The ceiling is different. It's cleaner. Things are newer. There's been a lot sewn into this area, so we've done more than just that AC system. The impact that we are having as a unit has been huge.
Before leaving Mampong, Bishop ministered to the people at another church. Many of them took off from work just to hear this word from God. The team also blessed people in the villages with donations of clothes and shoes. But one of the most memorable moments came while street witnessing with some university students.
In my group, we went to a house. The first house we got to, we went there and we asked could we come in and pray with the family. So they were very receptive to us coming in. They set out chairs for us and we sat down and talked to them.
The sister was mad at the other sister and the mama wasn't getting right, and they were all having all these different issues. But by the time that team left that house, they were connected, they were singing, everybody was one again.
So one of the young men, the interpreter, he said, they're singing, joy has come to the house. And so when we walked away and I turned around and I saw their smiles, that was just like, for me, the best moment, because I know how their faces looked when we got there. And I know how their faces looked when we left. So I just knew that the power of God had hit their household. And for them to sing that song, Joy Has Come to the House, that was to me like, okay, this is it, you know, I'm good.
God did so much. The trip concluded with a visit to Cape Coast Castle, a place where slaves were held before being loaded onto ships and sold. The door of no return was the last stop before crossing the Atlantic Ocean. After touring this site where so much pain and suffering took place, the team headed back to the hotel to debrief and rest. The missionaries spent time on the beach, taking a few selfies, and even playing a little ping pong with Bishop before preparing for the flight home.
And I'm just so appreciative that, you know, I was able to, one, be selected for the team, go and do God's work, and spend some time with our bishop. And that was just, it's priceless. It's priceless.
Thank you, Jesus, that our tithes and offerings paid for the trip. I thank God that no matter what has went on in my life, that I'm continued to tithe and I continue to sow. He said he gives seed to the sower, and so I bless God for an opportunity to be able to go on this trip debt-free. And so it's amazing, and it's not being done. When you share with someone you're going, the first thing they ask is, how much does it cost? It doesn't. The price has been paid. And so I bless God to be connected to a ministry that pays for the trip. So I'm grateful to God for that.